Our next speaker is Quinn Thomson. He's from Biomedical Engineering, and his supervisor is Dr. Stephen Boyd. Quinn's 3MT talk title is Computer-Aided Detection of Acute Ischemic Stroke, Finding Dying Brain Tissue in Early CT Images with Image Texture Analysis.
One day, Glenda, a woman from Canmore, was having a barbecue with her family. It was an early spring day, and last traces of snow were leaving puddles on her deck, when suddenly she's hit with this intense headache. She goes to tell her husband, but she's having trouble talking, and she can't move her left leg. Glenda is having a stroke. In fact, she's having the more common type of stroke, an ischemic stroke. So an ischemic stroke is where there's a blockage in an artery feeding the brain, causing part of the brain to die. So this is an emergency situation, much like a heart attack, and needs to be treated immediately. So Glenda, in Canmore, is rushed to Foothills Hospital all the way in Calgary. And despite the efforts of the doctors there, she passes away. And now you're probably wondering, why did she go to Calgary? And it's for the experts. There's a team of stroke doctors there who are specially trained to deal with ischemic stroke. They're able to look at brain CT images, like the image on the right here, on your left, and they're able to find areas of the brain that are dying because of the stroke, like the areas outlined on your right. But you'll notice that these outlines, which are provided by different doctors, they're not identical. And that's because this is a difficult problem even for the stroke experts in Calgary. And so this is what my research is in. I'm writing software to be able to find these ischemic areas automatically. And the hope is that an ER doctor with my software and access to a CT scanner can treat people. And what this means is that there'll be a huge increase in access to ischemic stroke care. Instead of having to go to a stroke center like Foothills, you can go to any local ER. So now my task becomes to write software that's as good as stroke experts. And so to do this, I compare the stroke-affected side of the brain to the healthy side of the brain. And I'm looking for two specific things. I'm looking for where the brain matter is becoming darker, and I'm looking for where gray matter is disappearing. And I look across the entire brain to see how much of the brain has been affected by this. And this has been tuned to world-class stroke experts. And as you can see in the image in the middle, this software is working right now. It's fantastic. But now I want to go one step further. I'm working with the Calgary Stroke Program to start answering questions like, how old is a stroke? What treatment should be used? Will you be disabled? Will you walk again? These are questions that patients desperately want to know the answer to, but stroke doctors either struggle with or are unable to answer these questions. So why do we need this software? So that Glenda could have been treated in Canmore. So that any ER doctor in any hospital with the CT scanner in my software can treat and assess ischemic stroke like the stroke experts, with no travel time and no delay. Thank you.